Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual, man. You guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narrative, stopping them from rewriting the history and bending reality, man. And in this video, man, we're going to talk about Mike Tyson and some comments that he made about Michael Jordan in an interview. They asked Mike Tyson about Michael Jordan being recognized as the greatest of all time. And Mike Tyson said it was Michael Jordan's sacrifice that earned him that title. That's how he earned it, through sacrifice. And we're going to talk about in this video, man, because Mike Tyson knows what he's talking about when he talks about the sacrifice that Michael Jordan made to become the greatest of all time, or to be recognized as the greatest of all time, man. So shout out to Mike Tyson. We're going to talk about this video, man. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly humbled by all the support, man. You guys know the deal on this channel. All the true basketball fans are standing up to the lies and the narratives, man. We must not allow them to continue to tear down the past eras. And on this channel, specifically the 80s and the 90s, the era that I grew up watching, we will not allow this any longer, man. These people can't stand on integrity. They won't be honest with you. And I appreciate all you guys rolling with me, man, and supporting my channel, guys. It's truly humbling. Shout out to everybody in the membership, man. Thank you very much, guys. It means a lot. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I came across this article the other day. It was an interview with Mike Tyson. I don't, you know me, guys. I don't have any, I can't pin it in the comment section or pin it in the description or, oh, you guys, what article? Listen, man, I just came across this article, man. All right, it was an interview that Mike Tyson had from a couple of days ago. And they asked him about Michael Jordan being recognized as the greatest of all time. And not just about basketball, but about all sports. Remember, guys, we've talked about this on this channel. Michael Jordan is considered by many people, by most people, the greatest athlete in all the sports, guys. Right? Just because of the accomplishments, the way he went about his career, what he represented, the impact on culture, the impact on the game itself, the impact across all sports. It's Michael Jordan, guys. He's second to none, man. Second to none. And they asked Mike Tyson about him being recognized as the greatest athlete, the greatest basketball player of all time. And Mike Tyson gave a simple response, man. And it's 100% on the money what he said. And basically what he said is that Michael Jordan sacrificed, right, to be considered or earned the right to be considered the greatest of all time. The sacrifice that he said that Michael Jordan made, right, that a lot of other great athletes, they don't make the same sacrifice. They can't make the same sacrifices as Michael Jordan. And he's running the money with these kinds of things, man, because what did Michael Jordan talk about in the Last Dance documentary, guys? You remember what he talked about? He talked about what? The price that he paid, right? The price of winning, the price of leadership. He said, I was willing to pay that price. What did he say? Yeah, I pushed guys, I pulled guys along when they didn't want to be pushed, when they didn't want to be pulled. I did this, right? And he said, I was going to make it hell on you to be on this team if you were not willing to put the work in and earn it. This is what I always tell you guys. This is how Michael Jordan instilled confidence in his teammates. This is how he pushed them in practice to be greater, to be a better version of themselves, to be the best version of themselves, to fill a role, and to be part of a team, to earn that. What did he say in The Last Dance also? He said, I wanted to win, but I wanted them to win and be a part of that as well. He wanted them to know that feeling of being winners. He understood what it took so that second three-peat. He wanted guys like Scott Burrell, the guys like Ron Harper, to know that feeling, the Luke Longleys of the world, the guys who had never won championships, had never been on that level. He wanted them to have that feeling, but he knew the only way for them to get there was by him pushing them and them being held to that standard. He held the standard for the Chicago Bulls franchise all those years, guys. The standard. And the sacrifice that Michael Jordan made, we've often talked about on this channel, guys. So when Mike Tyson talks about the sacrifice, he's right on the money. He understands the sacrifice that Michael Jordan made to be considered the greatest of all time, to earn that label, to earn that level of respect. Once again, not just from the fans, the people, but also other great athletes like Mike Tyson himself. Right? And Mike Tyson is a student of the history of boxing, right? The sport that he plays in, right? Or the sport that he competes in, the profession of boxing. Mike Tyson is a student of the game, a student of the sport of boxing. So he understands Muhammad Ali. If you ever saw Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali in the same room together, and you saw how Mike Tyson reacted or interacted with a Muhammad Ali. I mean, it's like you're looking up to like an older brother or a father figure for someone like Mike Tyson, man. And he understood the grains of Muhammad Ali and what he represented to the sport of boxing and what he meant to humanity, to society, the cultural impact of someone like Muhammad Ali. So he always put Muhammad Ali above himself and always said that Muhammad Ali was the greatest of all times as it pertains to the sport of boxing and what he meant to the sport of boxing and to other black people out there, someone like a Mike Tyson. Once again, being a student of the sport that you play in. A lot of the guys today, I told you, they're not students of the game of basketball. They don't care about the history of the game. So they tear down someone like Michael Jordan. When someone like Mike Tyson, who once again, at that time in the 80s and the 90s was considered the baddest man on the planet. Probably the scariest individual in the world at that time. Even to this day, Mike Tyson scares people, man, because he's unpredictable, Mike Tyson. He's a scary dude. And Mike Tyson understands the grace of Michael Jordan and the sacrifice that Michael Jordan made. We talk about the sacrifices. Think about Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, right? In those early years. Remember, they fired Doug Collins. So remember, Michael Jordan did not want Doug Collins fired. He liked Doug Collins. And remember, they were improving. They were getting better. So it wasn't like they were stagnant with Doug Collins. They were actually getting better with Doug Collins. They had made their first ever Eastern Conference Finals in 1989 with Doug Collins. And the Bulls were ascending. And they got rid of Doug Collins and they brought in Phil Jackson. Did Michael Jordan throw a tantrum about that? Did he bitch and moan? Did he complain? Did he request a trade? Did he refuse to play for Phil Jackson, a rookie coach who had been part of the coaching staff, but he had never been a head coach in the NBA? Unproven Phil Jackson. Did Michael Jordan make a big scene? No, Michael Jordan did what? He sacrificed because he was coachable. So once again, Phil Jackson brings in the triangle offense, right, to take the ball essentially out of Michael Jordan's hands more often and spread the ball around on the offensive end. All right, allow other guys to have roles to be consistent on the team. Michael Jordan sacrificed his numbers, his quote-unquote stats that people are always talking about now. Oh, this guy's stats, this guy's numbers. That's all they talk about now. They don't talk about the sacrifice like someone like Michael Jordan made, right? He sacrificed numbers for winning, for team success, for greatness, because that's what he was chasing. Michael Jordan was chasing Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. He wasn't chasing their stats. He was chasing the greatness, the winning of those guys. Magic Johnson's 5 championships, Larry Bird's 3 championships. Michael Jordan was chasing the greatness of those players. That's what he was chasing. They had nothing to do with stats. So Michael Jordan was willing to sacrifice, there's that word sacrifice again, his stats for winning, for the betterment of the team. If it would help the team win, he was willing to give it a try. And that's what happened with Phil Jackson, the triangle offense. Michael Jordan was willing to give it a try. After the 1990 season, when they got bounced out of the Eastern Conference Finals for the 2nd straight year, then Michael Jordan turned around and said, hey, you see, we can't win with Phil Jackson. Doug Collins did the same thing for us. We were in the same place we were last year. Did Michael Jordan do that? No. Did he make a big sting about it? Once again, did he request a trade? Did he ask him to fire Phil Jackson? Did he refuse to play in that system? Did he ask for a Scottie Pippen to be traded or Horace Grant or any of the other guys? No, Michael Jordan, once again, sacrificing for the betterment of the team. It's called sacrifice, guys. We think about Scottie Pippen and the development years of Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant and B.J. Armstrong, some of these guys that formed the core of the Chicago Bulls and during that first three-peat. Did Michael Jordan ask for Scottie Pippen to be traded? Did he turn his back on a Horace Grant or a B.J. Armstrong? No, Michael Jordan sacrificed by pushing these guys in practice, right? He sacrificed his time, his energy to make the team better, to make them better, to give them the confidence. That's a sacrifice that he made, being an older brother or a big brother to those players, being an elder statesman for those guys on the Chicago Bulls. That's Michael Jordan sacrificing. If you think about the things that he was worried about, we talked about the Last Dance documentary. Michael Jordan often said what? He was worried about how he was going to be perceived by a lot of the newer generation type people, the people who did not grow up watching the 90s era Chicago Bulls, or they did not know Michael Jordan that well. He was concerned about how he would be perceived, right? Because what he say, they're going to think that he was an a-hole or he was a tyrant. And what did Michael Jordan say? He said, that's you because you never won anything. He said, I never asked my teammates to do anything that I was not willing to do myself. That's called leading by example. These are the sacrifices that Michael Jordan made. So when he says he's worried about how people are going to view him, and people now try to tear Michael Jordan down by saying he wasn't a nice guy, he wasn't a great teammate, they'll try to say that about Michael Jordan. This is part of the sacrifice that Michael Jordan made. He sacrificed his image, how he would be perceived in some people's eyes. He sacrificed that to win. So he pushed his teammates. He may have been an a-hole, like some of these guys said. He pushed the boundaries. He might have stepped over the line. He might have crossed the line. He might have said some crazy stuff. He might have did some things that were borderline. But what did they say? What did Will Perdue say? He said, you know what? It worked, though. It worked. And I've always told you guys on this channel, you cannot argue with the results. The results, Michael Jordan is results driven. He's driven by the results. So once again, this is why I was talking to you guys about the Phil Jackson and Doug Collins dynamic. The results were not there the first year. So Michael Jordan was a little skeptical. Once again, when the Bulls were ascending, they got rid of Doug Collins. It was almost like they were trying to derail the momentum of the train that they had been building up by bringing in a new coach when it didn't really seem that they needed one, right? But once again, Michael Jordan willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. So when Phil Jackson comes in and Scottie Pippen needs to be developed and all these things are going on, Michael Jordan never turned his back on the Chicago Bulls franchise, sacrificing, right, to make the team better, to win. And this is what Mike Tyson was talking about when he said that Michael Jordan made the sacrifice to be considered the greatest of all time. He earned that through sacrifice. Michael Jordan, once again, guys, not playing for the money, not playing for the fame, not playing for the stats, not playing for the accolades, the trophies, none of this stuff. He was playing to win the game. Literally, that's all Michael Jordan was concerned about, was winning almost to a fault, right? They talk about the competitive nature of Michael Jordan and how it was almost crazy-like, insane, the competitiveness of Michael Jordan, right? It was almost, like I said, it almost was like borderline psychotic with Michael Jordan. But once again, this went to Michael Jordan's greatness, and he sacrificed everything to win. That's all he wanted to do, was win. So he was willing to do whatever it took to win. That's Michael Jordan, guys. So he sacrificed his body. He sacrificed his time. All these things for the love of the game, for the fans. He didn't load manage on the fans. He didn't flop around the basketball court. He didn't walk around on defense. None of this stuff, man. He didn't blame his teammates. He didn't blame the coaches. He didn't have fans ejected. It was a sacrifice that Michael Jordan made. So he dealt with the hecklers, right? He dealt with that. He took all the reporters' questions. He took all the blame. This is part of the sacrifice that Michael Jordan made. He didn't blame Scottie Pippen or Horace Grant or Bill Cartwright. He didn't blame John Paxson or B.J. Armstrong. He didn't blame Dennis Rodman for being ejected many times in these games, right? He didn't blame Ron Harper or blame a Tony Kukoc or blame a Judd Bushler or Scott Burrell, right? Or Randy Brown or Steve Kerr, a Luke Longley, a Bill Wennington, a Bison Dele. He didn't blame these guys. He didn't put the blame at the lesser guys. Michael Jordan always sacrificed by taking the blame. And on the flip side, he deflected the credit onto his teammates, always giving his teammates their credit. Once again, sacrificing all the credit and giving it to his teammates. Not taking all the credit, deflecting it onto those guys and give them their just dues. Something today that people try to act like Michael Jordan did not do. Oh, Michael Jordan was selfish. He was an a-hole. Michael Jordan wasn't a nice guy. Scottie Pippen never got no credit. He's the unsung hero of the Chicago Bulls. It's absolutely insane when people say those things. That lets me know that you were not growing up in the 80s or the 90s watching this stuff. Because you can literally pull up minutes-long videos, minutes of Michael Jordan giving Scottie Pippen his credit, giving Horace Grant his credit, B.J. Armstrong, Tony Kukoc, Phil Jackson, the coaching staff, talking about the fans, all this stuff, talking about the trainers, the game plan. I mean, Michael Jordan always gave credit where credit was due. And once again, when it was time to take the responsibility, the blame, Michael Jordan was there to step up and take all that stuff right on the chin, like a grown man, like a true leader, a true professional, sacrificing for the betterment of the team, not deflecting the blame onto other players, taking the blame. That's a sacrifice that Michael Jordan made as the leader. He sacrificed his image, his image in the public. What people might think about him. Once again, you see these lames out here today who don't know a damn thing about the 90s try to blame Michael Jordan for the way he was. Oh, Michael Jordan wasn't a good teammate. He wasn't a nice guy. They really think that Michael Jordan not being a quote-unquote nice guy or Michael Jordan being hard on his teammates or pushing his teammates is a negative thing. They don't seem to understand that's what made the Bulls so great, was the battles in practice. When Michael Jordan left in 1993 and the Bulls were still able to maintain a certain level of success, that goes to Michael Jordan's greatness and the effort that he gave in practice, the standard he upheld for the Chicago Bulls all those years. That's what that was. Those are the residuals of the standard that Michael Jordan held there in Chicago, bringing a culture and a winning culture that Michael Jordan brought, a mentality to that organization. That's what he left there. That's his legacy there. That goes to Michael Jordan's greatness. That doesn't take away from his greatness. Oh, the Bulls won 53 games or 51 games when Michael Jordan left. Once again, all you're doing is highlighting Michael Jordan's greatness and the impact he had on those players, making them better, making them greater, right? That's what that means, guys. Is the sacrifice that Michael Jordan made. Mike Tyson understands these kinds of things. He knows about Michael Jordan. He was coming up in the same era as Michael Jordan, right? Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, all the Mikes, they were out there doing their thing. And Mike Tyson understands about the sacrifices that Michael Jordan made. Because once again, Michael Jordan was not out there for the fame. He was not out there for the money. He was out there to compete. He was out there for the winning, for the love of the game. So when you play with that love of the game, then you're going to sacrifice for that love. You're going to sacrifice to win, to be a true competitor. You're going to sacrifice, like I said, to not load manage. You're going to sacrifice, like I said, your personal problems, the pains that you might be dealing with. You sacrifice these things. Michael Jordan didn't miss games for load managing or for rest. He didn't duck out in the competition, right? He didn't duck the smoke. None of this stuff. He pushed his teammates. These are the sacrifices that Michael Jordan made. And his teammates made sacrifices to play with Michael Jordan. It cannot be understated that his teammates sacrificed also to be pushed by Michael Jordan. They had to deal with a lot. And this is why I always tell you guys, this is why we respected the role players on the Chicago Bulls. You respected the role players that played with Michael Jordan because they had to earn that role. They literally had to earn it by going through the fire. Anyone on those Chicago Bulls teams that played any kind of time in those NBA Finals, you had to earn that playing time by going through the battles, going through the fire in practice. You had to earn that. Scott Burrell earned those minutes, man. Right? Judd Bushler earned those minutes. Bobby Hansen, he earned those minutes. Bison Dele, Randy Brown, right? John Paxson, B.J. Armstrong. These guys earned their minutes. Cliff Livingston, Craig Hodges. They earned their minutes by going through the battles in practice. Steve Kerr. These guys earned their minutes, man. They earned their role and spot on the team. This is why they can celebrate as a true team. They all earned it. They had to deal with Michael Jordan's practices. Oftentimes, they would say the practices were harder than games. So Michael Jordan sacrificed his image. He sacrificed stats. He sacrificed all this stuff to win for his teammates so they could be greater, so that they could get the credit. Right? He sacrificed all these things. When Scottie Pippen said, when Michael Jordan left at the 93 season, he said, I didn't realize that Michael Jordan was shielding us from so much. That's Michael Jordan sacrificing, taking all that blame, taking all the reporters' questions, taking all the heat. This is part of Michael Jordan's sacrifice, guys. Once again, these guys were dealing with personal problems back in those days. They were dealing with physical injuries, physical ailments, but they sacrificed pain and all this stuff to be out there, to compete, to put on a show for the fans, for winning, for that love of the game, like I said, guys. So shout out to Mike Tyson, man, for once again understanding the sacrifice that Michael Jordan made for his teammates, for the organization of the Chicago Bulls, for the city of Chicago, for the people out there, the fans. He sacrificed. That's why he went out there all those games. He always said, I never knew if someone was coming out there that never got a chance to see me play. Like they spent their hard-earned money to come watch me play, or they turned the TV on and they were going to spend 2-3 hours out of their day to watch me. I was going to give them my all. I was going to put on a show for these people. He felt an obligation. That's what Michael Jordan always said. That's what his trainer, Tim Grover, said. Michael Jordan felt an obligation to the people. An obligation, man. That's deep right there, guys. And Mike Tyson understands the obligation, the sacrifice that Michael Jordan made to be considered the greatest of all time, man. He earned that. So shout out to Mike Tyson. You guys know what to do on this channel, man. These are the facts here, man. Real recognize real. Michael Jordan is the athlete above all athletes. He just is, guys. Those are the facts. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.